This podcast contains an English accent that most of our Irish listeners will find offensive. Also, there may be some colourful language that you're going to find less offensive. Now, over to Ryan and Leon. Enjoy the podcast.
Musical bridges from the mundane. Poems are a Saturday in the middle of the week. They illuminate belief, inviting new ways to seek. Poems are songs of romance, with ourselves, others, space, place, and time. Hymns of holy language, angelic ditties of the divine. Poems are also prayers that rhyme.
I have to thank you for sending me that.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, man. I didn't even know he was releasing one until you said it.
I love angelic ditties.
Angelic ditties.
Angelic ditties. Yeah, I was. How do I even say? I was on Spotify. You know when you finish an audiobook, and then you have the 15 minutes of scouring for the next one. You're like, it's like a bit of a stress having to look for what am I going to fucking listen to, and you don't listen to something that's terrible, so you're going to go scanning through. Then I saw that, and I was like,
what's happening?
Greenland. I was like, hang on a second, what is this? And then I realised it was a little poetry book full of poems, and I went, Ryan Duggins would love this.
Oh, and actually did. But I actually did though. Like, there's so much love. We're going to share a full poem from the new book from Matthew McConaughey later on. The President, Matthew McConaughey. Who the fuck's next?
Sky's the limit. Cher will be next.
Pamela Anderson.
Pamela Anderson's well. Tell you, fucking anyone can write poems.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
That's it. Anyone can write poem.
But I like how excited he gets about, like, when he starts a chapter, he goes like, ooh, this one, yeah,
giddy up.
Well, I know this. Y'all know this one as well. He obviously loves it. He obviously loves doing it.
He seems like he has the crack. I can imagine him just sitting in the studio having the best time.
On his Todd.
Yeah,
on his lonesome.
Having a Miller Lite or a Bud Light. Having a Bud Light.
You want a fella.
What a fucking legend.
You right?
I'm alright, yeah. I've calmed down now after culture night.
We had a good time, didn't we?
We had a good time.
We had a really good time. And thanks for everybody who came. Thanks to Aoife, to Dara, to Eve, to Danny.
Yeah. Lethal. Yeah, to all the people that read out their poems.
And Finn. Sorry, Finn. The sound guy.
Finn, absolute legend.
Yeah.
Fucking did us a solid recording the whole podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unreal.
Amazing.
I was out till about 2:30.
Well, I left you. I was flying to Benalmadena the following morning, I couldn't stick around.
Away.
How fun was the Celt?
The Celt is a great spot.
I've been here years. I've never known of the Celt.
Never knew about it.
I wouldn't be drinking on the tablets. You know what I mean? Not to be a prick or anything. Do you know what I mean? But
Notions 11.
Ish. But I thought it was great.
No, it's great crack, and it's huge.
Massive pub,
absolutely huge. No wonder Zach Bryan made it his home, stayed in it.
Did he?
That's where he went to for the 3 nights that he was here.
Huh.
He gave. Do you not hear about him tipping the bar staff?
Tell me.
So Zach Bryan, when he did his nights in the Phoenix Park during the summer.
I don't really know who he is.
Zach Bryan, the country
He's
western.
A country act,
we have a poem that I'll send you that we can share in the upcoming episodes. Not this one, but the next episode.
Right, yeah, okay.
But he actually has a really good poem. But when he was here for 3 nights, he basically made the Celt his home. But got on with the bar staff loads and the floor staff, and he was basically messing with the manager. I was like, I want to leave a tip because he was chatting to the floor staff, and he's like, oh, you must be, you're here so late every night. And they were like, well, we're trying to pay for college. So he was like, went up to the barman, to the manager, and said, I want to give them a tip to help pay their college fee. I want to give them, can I give you $2,000? And the manager was like, no, that's not going to, it'll be at least 10. Messing, thinking like he's taking the piss. And he was like, no, it'll be about 10. And he goes, about 4. And your man goes, no, 8 at least. And he goes, right, we'll settle on 6. Gave him a $6,000 tip and goes, that's for your bar staff.
It did not.
To help pay for their college.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's fucking brilliant.
There you are.
And the Americans have money, but even so.
Well, Zach Bryan has money as well. He's got music money.
That's great, man.
Yeah, he's got a great album, First Friday, but he's got a poem version of it, and we'll play it on another episode, maybe in the next one. So people who are listening to this one can wait till the next one.
The show we've got coming up, we're going to share a poem from Matthew McConaughey later on. We've got some new music as well to share. But I wanted to start the show with this, right? So I was in Spain for a week.
Were you?
In Benalmadena.
Oh, yeah.
Have you been before?
I've been to Spain, not to Benalmadena though.
It's the Costas. It's part of the Costas,
Oh.
and it's a mini England really. It's Leeds in the sun, and
Like a lot of places in Spain.
yeah, especially on the Costas. And I went there, and it was grey. It was hot. You late mornings and late dinners. What more do you
Cheap
want?
cervezas.
Not really that cheap.
No.
Average about €5 a pint over there. Actually.
€5.
Well, that was one of the problems. The other problem, right? I think I've been spoiled in Ireland because there's a soundness in the air wherever Irish people are. That's not me guffing. I do believe there's a giddiness. There's a chat. There's an expectation that the chat to strangers is normal. So, for instance, if you were in, let's say, when you were working in Lanzarote, and you would be in the supermarket and you heard an Irish voice, and they're in front of you in the queue and they're getting, I don't know, 8 cans of
San Miguel.
They'd probably say something. Look at you, like, look at you, look at you as well. Yeah, good to be out.
I'd be buying my San Miguel, Dave, you buying theirs.
Yeah, you have a bit of
for
crack.
breakfast.
The silence of Benalmadena, because of the amount of English people that holiday there. Like, I didn't have a stop and chat with any English person.
No crackling.
No crack. They had no crack at all. Even like the only crack I had actually was with a couple from Liverpool.
Oh, but
that was sitting next to me in a Scar pub called Darcy's in Benalmadena. Had like Vespers everywhere. It was great crack, and they chatted to us, which is great. But Liverpool people are Irish people.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I take for granted the Irish way of having a bit of banter, and a bit of crack. And then I came home and I bought the Irish Times because I like doing that.
I'm a
big advocate of buying the Irish Times. And the column this week was all about that. It was all about the Irish chat.
Just for our listeners, Ryan has an actual physical paper. He doesn't have a subscription on his phone. He reads analog.
I couldn't recommend. I know, like, fucking hell, this isn't sponsored, but like,
he wishes he was.
If you're lost a little bit and you need a bit of structure, if you have this every weekend, you're guaranteed to leave reading it with something on the cards.
Is this the magazine or the paper?
This is the inside magazine, right? So this is the Irish Times magazine, and it's got it's columns, it's reviews, it's recipes, it's travel stuff. You can't leave this without some change. So like, I love buying this, I have to tell you. And Brianna Parkins is their regular columnist. She's an Australian that lives in Australia with her Irish partner, who she met over here when she was working here. And she dragged him over, and a lot of the columns are around like the kind of Australian Irish kind of different ways of living, and this one it's just brilliant. I'm going to read the whole thing out for you, right? And the column is called Good Chat. Only when you leave Ireland you realise it isn't universal. You know what I mean? This is by Brianna Parkins. It started when I saw the cows grazing next to the runway as the plane shuddered to a halt in Dublin. The subtle charm offensive of Ireland had begun again, sweeping away old grudges, painting over the knock-down, drag-out rows we've had about housing and healthcare over the years. It only took us 12 hours under grey skies and huge shiting seagulls to almost forget why we left, why we felt we had to leave in the first place. But that's the way this place has you. Dublin is the old friend you fell out with, but find yourself forgetting why after a few drinks in each other's company. It's like picking up where you left off, letting the water gush under the bridge. The overheard bush chatter, the snatches of one-sided phone conversation, it's all poetry. I've had to go back to keeping a small notebook and a pen, which will eventually shake free of its lid, creating a lovely Jackson Pollock imitation on the lining of my handbag, but it's worth it. In a pub, ears burning, I heard a gentleman of what I would call newspaper racing form reader age ask his friend where he would like to sit as they approached the table. On my arse, if I can help it, he replied. No hesitation, no stalling. From the way they laughed, I could tell this wasn't a rehearsed set piece. This wasn't your uncle trotting out, I'm happily married, she's happy, I'm married, every time someone asks how his wife is. Just a pure, in-the-moment example of good, clean banter. You don't appreciate something as simple as good chat in Ireland. Not when it's all around you. Any two strangers meeting on the island of Ireland will usually be able to have at least 15 minutes of decent small talk after having just the weather as a jumping off point. Then they'll delve into trying to find a person they both know, taking a detour around genealogical records, Instagram mutuals and the electoral register, which could extend the chat by a good 25 minutes. It's only when you leave Ireland that you realise that this isn't universal, and that people from other countries are happy to thrust you into the barren wasteland of silence instead of feeling a compulsion to fill a conversational gap. My partner learned this the hard way his first week in Australia. We had stopped for a coffee at an overpriced cafe on the beach. We knew we would have to take out a personal loan for a flat white by the sight of dogs tied up outside wearing custom hoodies over their perfectly warm, God-given fur coats, even though it was 15 degrees. While he waited for the card machine to boot up, he tried to make conversation with the stunning blonde forest nymph behind the counter, who, by the looks of it, had taken a gap year from cavorting under magical waterfalls in the Glen to work as a barista. "That's a cool claddering. I actually come from the same place they do," he said. "Okay," she said, tapping his card, not a trace of interest behind her big blue eyes. "Sorry if it's not about sport or property. Australians can be pretty incurious." I apologised to him afterwards. "It's not about being curious, it's about pretending to be curious. No one really cares what you have to say. Just say something. It's called being polite," he raged. "It's not in the Constitution, but I believe it's one of the unwritten rules of Ireland. Being invested in other people's inconsequential bits of chat. As a rule, I don't like gossip, unless it's unimportant morsels about people I don't know. Your auntie's tidy town's committee drama? Yes, please. Your granny's neighbour's new deck that doesn't have council approval? Top up my wine there, please." Yesterday, still in Dublin, my prayers were answered when 3 women sat next to me. After hearing my foreign accent talking on the phone, they must have decided I wasn't Irish enough to be interested in their affairs. Big mistake, huge. And launched into their summit. I got the full dossier on which funerals they'd been to, who got redundancies in the schools, the new handicap system at the golf club, and who just bought the big house there up by the lights. The dwelling was described as all fur coat and no knickers, which has a certain ring to it that the cement rendering doesn't cancel out the poor drainage and single pane windows lacks. My favourite accessory are my noise-cancelling headphones, but Ireland makes them redundant. I don't want to miss a single thing when I'm in my second home, not when there's music like this on the streets.
That was Good Chat. Only when you leave Ireland you realise it isn't universal, by Brianna Parkins.
Doesn't it sum it all up?
I do that myself actually. When I'm in town, I don't wear earphones because the things that you'll hear are just gold.
You just can't miss it.
It's just gold.
You just can't miss it.
I remember being on the 15 bus, and there was 2 young lads who were upstairs, top deck, as if there's multiple decks, upstairs, top deck.
Third deck.
I was on the third deck of the double decker bus, and there's these 2 young lads. They must be about fucking 12. And they're looking out the window and they're in their tracksuits and they're looking out the window and you can hear this young fella and he's like, the one was slightly younger, he must have been about 11 and the other one was 12.
Yeah.
And the younger one's like, "Oh, look at her, she get it. Look at her, she get it." And then your man just looks out, the older fella looks and goes, "Yeah, she'd get it if she wasn't wearing her nanny's runners."
That's very.
And that was
nanny's runners.
That was about 10 years ago.
Brilliant.
I think about that often. Like, just so many things.
Oh God, we're blessed, man.
Or like even I have from COVID I have a list on my phone of everything that Leanne's nanny says, that she's just like things like quotes that she'd say, like, "Oh, I have a family of chins and ears." What? A family of chins and ears.
Oh,
or if she finds out about that, there'd be wigs on the green.
I love that one.
They pull their wigs off.
Fucking hell.
Like just the things that come out with. I'm like,
on the pig's back.
On the pig's back, yeah.
Great saying.
It's just like fucking. There's so many.
or you won't see her buy a pig in a sack. Have you heard that one?
What's that?
it means she's got a good attention to detail. It's like, oh, you wouldn't find her buying a pig in a sack. You heard that?
Or he's so stingy, he'd peel an orange in his pocket.
You would have heard that one. But I don't think these things exist anywhere
It's just
else.
like weird, like
It's just great fun.
that's what I love about just, you know, people just have these sayings that, or like, and some new ones are invented all the time. Usually in the pub, or usually, you know, when you're out. But like, it's just gold dust, and you're like,
Gold dust, man.
you could have a book and just fucking all this shite that just comes out of people's mouth. That's just so entertaining.
Do you think there's something? I think we've spoken about this before, and I know you've worked in hospitality for quite a bit as well. Do you think there's a commitment, like Brianna's partner was saying, like a commitment to being engaged to strangers that you have in Ireland, where maybe in other cultures it doesn't really exist?
Yeah, of course. Like, I think, you know, Irish people, especially Irish people abroad, it's like they cling to other Irish people. They'll be like, oh, you're Irish, and they'll come over and make it their business, and then you know. But it's true. But the thing when they're saying comparing to who you know, like who do you know in Ireland that you might have in common with? And I remember
you begging for it, ain't you? You're like,
boy, one of the maddest fucking stories that ever happened about something like that was when I was in Lanzarote and I was working in a nightclub. And I was doing the door, so I was trying to get people in, you know, just like, come on downstairs, have a chat. And this girl
flyering? Is it like
well, I didn't have any flyers, but I was just like, what's the crack? How are you? Yeah, come on. They hear the Irish accent. They go on downstairs, get a drink, a few shots, and she go on, still there, kick them down the stairs. But the girl came up to me and she was from Bristol, and she was like, you're from Ireland? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, Benalmadena. And I was like, how the fuck do you know? What? And she was like, yeah, Benalmadena, which is actually like, it's not far from where I'm from. It's like across the street from the area where I'm from. And I was like, how do you know Benalmadena? She's like, I know one person in Ireland, and his name is Jimbo Dowling. And she's like, do you know him? And I was like, I used to work with him in Duns. Right? And I was like, what are the fucking chances? Because how do you know about Jimbo Dowling from Benalmadena? She goes, I met him in Australia. So she met this fella in Australia, the only person ever. And the only place she knows in Ireland, and she met me in the Canaries.
Yeah.
And I happened to be working with him. And I went to school with his brother. He couldn't write that. And then I was great, I'm annoyed at how small my country actually is. It is a village. Dublin, like not even Dublin, Ireland is a village, like, you know. It's fucking bizarre.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
I love it though.
Love that column as well. Yeah. Thanks, Brianna. Maybe then now it's a good time to have a listen to the tones of Matthew McConaughey.
Sweet little caramel tones.
There are a lot of poems we could have picked from Matthew's debut collection. We've gone with Tips Included.
Tips Included.
There's just too much in this to even talk about, so we're going to wait and talk about it later. But like so many bangers of like, he's just such an insightful fella, isn't he? Like,
but I think it's a waste to buy his book. Buy it on the Audible. Like,
I wouldn't usually say that, but think for his voice.
Like, but his whole performance, even like with Greenlight as well. Like, I'd never buy the physical copy because my inner monologue wouldn't be able to beat Matthew McConaughey in person actually doing that, and like the way he presents it and performs it,
and the love that comes from it as well. Like they're real gifts to you.
It's an audio gift.
Yeah, it is an audio gift
for your ears.
Let's listen to Tips Included by Matthew McConaughey.
Tips included. Hoo-wee! You see, when the extra credit's included, credit doesn't get its due. When more gives us less, the exchange rate's gone askew. When amnesty's offered going into the crime, we're more bound to commit it because there is no fine. We start playing to tie instead of going for the win when participation's the trophy for every cow in the pen. See, if I stay on the porch because you picked up the slack, when you look over your shoulder, I can't have your back. If there is no curfew, we'll stay out all night. No tab at our bar, we're going to get drunk and start a fight. All these long lenses, they got us losing our sight. You keep lifting it for me, I'm going to lose all my might. When a 4-star duty suits a 6-star rate, we take our hands off the wheel and rely on fate. Eating all we can at the all-we-can-eat buffet gives us a 3.8 education and a 4.2 GPA. We steal from ourselves and get away with the scam. Well, what's the measure of merit with less give a damn? And these unlimited options, they sure got me confused, while all the conveniences keep me properly lubed. In this red light district with the whore of inflation, the ROI's math don't pay for the vacation. So let's just admit it. This extra credit's quite a fluffer. Because when the tip's included, the server's gonna suffer.
That was the poem Tips Included from the new collection of poetry and prayer called Poems and Prayer by the Oscar-winning actor Matthew McConaughey.
With tips included. Oh my.
Matthew's joined the building there.
Well, hello, sir.
You did the tooth thing as well.
Yeah, tips included.
Tips included.
Tips included.
It's a fine line between Matthew McConaughey and the perverting Family Guy. Do you know what I mean? Yes.
You gonna get whooping now.
The whole chapter, regulation gauges from that. We spoke about it a lot. I think maybe earlier in the year or maybe last year about like burnout and not knowing where the gauge is and how much you know when you're reaching the max limit of taking things on. I think he's really good at articulating that kind of journey of like knowing you're taking too much but then not quite understanding how you rectify it because you're going to take it on anyway.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Well, like from listening to it, he says that a lot of the poems and prayers that he's written are throughout the years. So these are a collection of poems. But even remember in Greenlight, there were like sermons in it.
Yeah.
He put like scatterings of his poetry in it, but you just didn't think like, where the fuck is this? He'd just do like a performance piece and then he'd go straight back into his autobiography, you know. So it's great to see that he must be sitting on a lot of work. And it's very insightful and it's really well written. And he can also perform at the bastard. He can do it really. He can do it all.
The back swing that we put out on
Back
Instagram.
swing.
Back swing. Yeah. But again, like that whole poem, it's like it's so hard to articulate, and he does it so well. But it's like we all want to live in the moment where we know that something big is coming, but we know that the value isn't when it's finished. It's just before it comes to completion. That is like the sweet spot of life.
Yeah.
So you have to take things on to even get there. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking mad. But the way he articulates it in that poem is just fucking incredible.
But even like when he won the Oscar and he was like, "Oh yeah, my hero is me."
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Is he a bit mental?" And then you're like, "Oh, his hero is this. He's always seeking a better version of himself. That's the hero he wants to be. Is himself who's better in 10 years, who's better in 10 years, who's better in 10 years." And you're like, "Oh, it's not like there's actually." He's thought a lot about this.
It's not like the fucking.
He didn't say like I'm my own hero because I'm fucking amazing. You know? It's like no, he's actually being like there's a lot of depth to it. So
yeah, loads of depth. Really, couldn't recommend. It's only 2 hours as well on Spotify. So if you got Spotify Premium, just go and take a long walk on the weekend.
Short and sweet, baby.
Short and sweet, baby.
Sweet.
You've been sitting on something quite special for a little bit.
I have.
Get into this.
So we've encountered through our many years of poetry bilingual poets, poets that would have their mother tongue and would also have their another second language. So like Cormac Fitz would be a great example. He'd do Irish and English, and then say you'd have some other people that would have like from the continent. You might have Spanish and flecklings of Italian and all. But I have found a trilingual poet. A poet of 3 languages.
Oh, very
not
good.
1, not 2, but 3 languages. And not only do I have a poem from said trilingual poet, but I also have an introduction of said trilingual poet.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Well, maybe we'll let her talk about it.
Let's
introduce herself.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
My name is Ola Majekodumi, and I write poetry trilingually. So I write in Yoruba, Gaeilge and English, and I do this to encompass all my identities as a Black Nigerian Irish woman living in Ireland. So this one is on her own terms. She loves herself. Surely it's better to think you're gonna who shock us to feel like you're nothing at all. Kisses teeth. So what, Akara? People have an obsession humbling strong women. I beg Kuru ni wajuwa. The feeling of the nice cold air beats against her body, helping her feel like she's somebody, alive and ready to jaye. So again, Omo, who gives a fuck?
That was On Her Own Terms by the trilingual poet Ola Magicadunmi. We actually listened to that about 3 times there. It's different worlds, isn't it? You're taking different worlds and different places, and I just, when you were saying before about like listening to like the poetry that is in Oskelga that we sometimes listen to, and Cormac Fitz I think has said like, you maybe even you said it, like you still know based on the energy. You can still make a guess on where the poem's taking you. The language isn't necessarily something you can understand. That was similar, wasn't it? Like I know it was only smatterings of the 2 different languages, but it was beautiful. A beautiful listen.
Yeah, like a
powerful listen.
I've never fucking heard that like that.
No,
that was unreal.
I listened to it twice.
That was unreal. Thrice.
Well,
trilingual poet. We had to listen to thrice. It's fucking incredible, and like I love how like because Ola's a Black Irish Nigerian woman, so she's incorporating not only English but she's using Irish mannerisms of how we use English. Then she's using Irish.
So almost like 4.
She's using Yoruba. Yeah, like it's just
4 dialects.
So
4
many
languages.
levels of that fucking poetry. Like it's just
different now. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? And it's lovely to see the blend of so many different cultures. You know, like all the different cultures coming together into like a melting pot there to make some fantastic piece. You know, and that's a very special.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a quadruple poet. Maybe we could just keep going. Get a quadruple, get a quintuple poet, a sextuple poet. I don't know, a 7 centuple. I don't know.
Keep going, so.
Octogenarian. I don't fucking know.
You fucked yourself there.
And I don't know. I've just run out of numbers now. But that was incredible. Ola, thank you so much.
Thanks, Ola.
I've been sitting on that. I'm trying to get a record on that because Ola initially sent in written poetry. And I said to her, I could read the Irish and I could read to some degree and I could read the English, but I couldn't read the Europa. I'd butcher it, you know, the pronunciation. So it's better to get herself on. So I'm so happy that she sent that in her own voice, in her own style.
Well, actually, do you remember listening to Poems and Prayer where sometimes Matthew McConaughey would do accents?
Yeah.
It's not good, is it?
No.
He does an African accent in one of the poems, doesn't he? He's doing
I haven't got to that one yet.
Or it may be he was doing the impression of like a barman in a place where he was.
Right.
It may have been Asia. It was a fucking terrible accent, but either way, white people can't. Just please, just
stay in your lane.
Just stay in the lane.
Stay in your fucking
lane. It's a big lane.
It's a big lane. It's a dual carriage lane.
It's massive.
Stay in your fucking
There's
lane.
no need to do these voices. Yeah. Fuck's sake. I have something for you. Yeah. So I'm part there's a Lucan group of poets that I spend time with. Like we meet up every month called the Poet's Perch. The Poet's Perch. And someone that I met through that is a poet called Norma Gill.
Right.
And Norma, terrific poet, had also performed at the Lucan Drama Society's open mic last month that I got in the newspaper from, by the way.
Yeah, because you're the new Lord of Lucan, I know. Yeah.
But she's inspired by Donna Ashworth, writes really heartfelt poetry that really digs into some of the tougher aspects of life, really. But so like some people, there are levels to this. So like sometimes you'll be at a poetry gig and you're like, yeah, they're a good performer, but whatever. Or like, oh, the words are good, but whatever. This person's on just another scale. Like she's Donna Ashworth, and I think she is.
Wow. And
I think as soon as she, listen, she's busy. She's getting herself out of her comfort zone. She's new to this whole thing, so I can't wait to see where she goes with her journey. Actually, I told her to send a poem to Jan Brereton the other day, and she said no. And I was like, no. Do and chuck your phone on the bed and don't look at it for hours.
Yeah.
But at least you've done it, and she ended up doing it. This poem, it's a beautiful one, and it's about the kind of the tougher side of long love, and the kind of ups and downs of romance when something bad happens to you. A little bit like Jan's poem, You Got Back You're Funny, that we talked about earlier on in the podcast. That's a great poem.
It's a great poem.
But I'm going to stop talking about it. I'm going to share it with you. This is the voice of Norma Gill.
The Rocky Patch. We hit a rocky patch, a midlife scratch no one wanted to itch. You watched as I crumbled, unaware what to do, and I from the floor wished that you knew. You then tried to rescue me from the depths, while I tried to hide how little was left of me and of you and what we had promised, for I was so smothered in grief and, if I'm honest, so unaware of the pain you were in, because I was just clinging with nails paper thin to any reality that made sense in a day when I could remember what I needed to say. Feeling so lost, so alone in the dark, where was I gone? Who'd put out my spark? And the more that you tried to fix me with care, the more I felt caught, tighter bound in the snare. But you didn't give up, and I didn't either, even though we weren't sure if it would beat us. We talked and we talked, cried, sulked and yelled, but we knew deep down we just want to be held. So the part that was lost, that seemed to be broken, began to come back to where we could both win some common ground, some understanding and trust, given from a space of want and not must. We hit a rocky patch, as solid as the moon, but you waited for me as I cleared the room of my mind and the thoughts that I think to myself, where I store the debt and none of my wealth. You waited for me to find me again. You stood in the shadows and watched your lost friend slowly return once more to your wife, reborn from grief and the heartache of life. You watched from the rubble as I pulled myself out, reached out a hand, eased my dire doubts. You carried me back to where I belong for one final chance to sing our swan song. You pulled me out and I tried to help to undo the damage life had done to myself. You pulled me out back into the open when you could see I was just healing and never was broken.
That was The Rocky Patch by Norma Gill. It's a very honest poem.
It is an honest poem.
It's an accurate poem of a long relationship.
Yeah.
Because it's not always glitz and glamour.
No, especially when bad things happen.
When bad things happen, yeah. And things will happen.
Well, inevitably.
It's what life happens, yeah. And it's you know, a good relationship isn't all, you know, we never fight. I don't fucking trust anyone that says that. We never fight. We never argue.
Nonsense.
We're just fucking great all the time. No, you're not. You're lying to your hole. That's not true.
No, it's not true.
Every relationship can stand, you know, you get weathered. You have to have a strong foundation.
Especially with someone for a long time, you know, like you can things like grief will make you disappear for a little bit. And that's very difficult, because when you witness that from the other person, and you're used to the other partner like being engaged and like doing things, like being actively seeking the fun stuff of life, to then kind of taking a step back, like a step aside from normality. It's very difficult.
They're on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And they're just going through the motions. Obviously, they're dealing with a lot.
Breaks up a lot of couples, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but it's
you have to have the patience, don't you?
Patience.
You have to like kind of like just commit to like the time numbing you back into a real reality.
It is mad grief, isn't it? That like when something like that happens, you're like, I'll never be normal again. And then bit by bit, it's like, you know, Anna D has a line in a poem that's not relevant to grief, but well, it's about being a young mother, but slowly the colour creeps back in. It's from Matrescence that she has, but like,
yeah, it's a great poem.
It's a great poem, but like that line is like the colour, because that's not just when you're broken from like having a child, but also like whenever you feel broken in any way, the colour has seeped out of you. The person is no longer the crack that's that loving bubbly person that they always are. They're now almost a shell of themselves, and the colour is gone, but slowly but surely the colour will creep back in, you know?
I don't know who, it was some philosopher that said this, and it wasn't me. That's why I'm prefacing this. This isn't me saying it, but I think it was Rilke, actually.
Right.
Is
that a wine? Rilke.
Rilke. The poet Rilke. I don't know where he's from, Rilke. I think he was Czech. I'll look it up. Anyway, he said that the most devastating thing about grief is how fleeting it is.
Wow. Yeah.
Because nothing in life can stand that long on its own without disappearing, even grief. And that's one of the most devastating things, because inevitably normality, like you said, the colour seeps in, normality creeps in, and then you have devastating moments of like, how the fuck,
how am I normal?
How the fuck did that happen? How am I in a pub? How am I?
I think there's also a guilt when you do feel normal after losing someone so close, because then you start to realise, okay, I'm starting to feel a bit okay, and then you're thinking, no, I should be always devastated. But you can't live your life completely and utterly devastated all the time.
No. Well, your body doesn't let you. That's the thing.
I think it's almost like a form of survivor's guilt, where you're like, I shouldn't be normal after this person isn't here anymore. But you still have to live your life. They obviously want you to live your life and not be a shadow of your former self because they're not there anymore. Yeah. So, yeah. It's a strange one now. It's a great poem though. Makes you think. Great conversation that come out of it there, you know. So it's a lot of depth to it. Yeah. So we have another poem.
Well, you'd hope so. It's a poetry
podcast. So. We have any more poems? Do
you like poems, yeah? You're the fellow that likes poems.
A few poems for us there, really. Man, give us a poem.
Shall we go with... let's listen to Hannah. So when we were in Chester back in June, we were supporting Andy Porter on his book launch.
The busiest book launch we've ever been to.
Yeah, but in like a pavilion in a.
It was a shed,
a public park.
It was a fucking shed. It was a shed. We were in a shed,
but it was packed.
There was about 60, 70. I think it was 60 people. It was easily 60 people there.
And one of the performers that we didn't expect to go on stage was actually Andy's daughter Hannah, who had been secretly writing poems on the sly. And after the gig, we all went into the country pub that we had to ask the owner to open. We've said this before, but thank God that he did. And about 1 a.m, it was me, you, and Hannah, and I think maybe Hannah's mom was sat in the corner of the pub, and Hannah gave us this poem and performed it out, and it's a strange dating story, and it's brilliant.
It's unreal.
It's called. Is it called The Lesbian Van?
Lesbian Van, I think. She obviously...
Yeah.
We have it in our own voice.
Well, we'll all listen to it now. This is Hannah Porter with Lesbian Van.
Hi, this is Hannah, and this is a poem that I shared with Ryan and Leon at Last Orders in my local village pub, so I hope they still like it. It's called A Lesbian Van. I met a girl on Hinge. The first words are always a little cringe. How do we start? Do we small talk? I don't know. I'm single, so don't listen to me. She said she was over her ex. I rejoiced. The very idea that she was in the clear from anything that had been before. Then I arrived at her front door. Now, she was honest. She lived in a van. The wild, free roaming, I was instantly a fan. But it wasn't her to greet me at the door. It was the very person that I had been reassured. She was over. Not one to jump to conclusions, perhaps more than slightly disillusioned. I picked up my Hinge date. A quiet drink or two, laughter, soft touches, heart eyes, despite the locals' "Look, lesbians!" cries. But my brain was not present. My mind still with the van circumstance. Maybe it was just chance, because the ex and the van were not in my Hinge date plan. So we're back to small talk. How do I loop it back in a subtle way? Perhaps with an endearing and charming, maybe flirty play. The brain ticks, the beer kicks, and the less than subtle talk makes my lovely date walk. In hindsight, I may have come on too strong with my need for answers, because what are the chances? Did I have to ask if they also owned cats? No, I could have parked that, like they do, perfectly parallel, under the stars, by lapping oceans next to teens romping in their cars. Now I sound bitter. Perhaps I could be the cat sitter. Hindsight is a funny thing. Anyway, I won't be getting a ring. Back to Hinge.
That was Lesbian Van by the wonderful Hannah Porter.
Great. And but I think, to be fair, probably a well dodged.
Probably, yeah.
Well dodged.
But like, I've fucking been asking her to do that poem for ages. I was like, please, we need to cover Lesbian Van. I was just like, this is incredible. Yeah, it's just a mad story. I love it. Like,
yeah, it's a fucking mental. Back to Hinge. Anyway, back to Hinge.
Great one. Great one.
Sorry, they're definitely still shagging in the van. Like, come on now. They obviously
See,
are.
she went on a date with someone who, like...
I'd have called it there. Hang on. Sorry.
Because the
Let
van...
me come in. I'd have gone in, If the door's open and
The van's a rocking.
Yeah, you'd be like, so who are you? Oh, sorry, I'm the ex. Yeah, she's just getting ready. Hang on a sec.
So they live in
a kettle. You got three tea bags there. Put the kettle on.
Yeah. Lions are Barry's. Which ones? It's probably PG Tips.
It's PG Tips or
PG
Tetley's.
Tips,
It's probably Tetley's where they're
probably
from.
Tetley's.
Let's talk this out.
They have.
I'm not buying a bottle of Merlot for this.
I've shaved above the knee for this bollocks. And you're telling me you're fucking...
I'm waxed up, man.
Either she joins in or you get the fuck out of here. I'm going.
Well, I wonder what the agony aunt would have made of such a story.
Well, she lives in a van.
Well, yeah, I mean,
agony aunt.
she's well used to these kind of...
She calls it the
issues.
agony van.
Yeah, with the agony van.
Where the agony aunt lives.
So we knocked on her door.
It's like a Venga bus. That's what I've been to. It's fucking huge. 3 floors.
3-floor bus.
3 decks.
I don't exist.
Triple decker bus. Fucking ridiculous. It's not even a van.
So you knocked the door. It must took her 10 minutes to get down to the door.
Well, she has a lift in her van. She has a fireman's pole if the electricity goes out, but she's a lift in her van,
fair.
her triple decker van.
Smart woman.
She hasn't got the knees for going up the stairs. She takes the lift up and there's pole down. You know?
Yeah. But we had to get her attention because we had a problem for her to solve. And the problem this week, and I wouldn't know what this is like, and it's just 4 words.
Oh.
Embarrassing, contagious, intrusive thoughts.
Well, as I said, I went all the way to the car park and I knocked on the triple decker van, which looks like a bus, to be honest. And I asked her. I could hear the pole squeaking as her hands were going down it. Dump. What you want? I need poems. She's like, right. What? Gives it. So I told her the thing and she came back with a poem, right? And she says, I have this poem for you here, right? She's written on a bus ticket for me. She lives in the van. It's a fucking bus ticket. Triple decker bus. It's a fucking bus she lives in. She's lying to us. So this is called Thought Invader. I've suffered a break-in to my own mental space. The burglar is well armed. I think I'll need to call the psychological police. The odd thing is, though, that the burglar is me. And I think that's why they broke in so easily. Their weapon of choice is a sinister voice that whispers and mumbles and cackles and grumbles are intrusive. These ideas are conducive, aimed at creating absolute chaos within my own life. Terrible thoughts I couldn't even share with a husband or wife. Bold thoughts, dark thoughts, twisted and perverse. I'm even getting them now as I pen this verse, and this one, and this one, and especially this one. But what am I to do to keep me from feeling such shame? I don't feel like I'm in control, so I don't think I'm really to blame. But thoughts are like cars, and my mind is the road. If I just keep jumping from car to car, then I think my head will explode. So I'll take a break for a while, meditate on a wall, and just watch the cars go by without paying so much attention to it all.
That was Thought Invader by our agony aunt, and welcome back to her. It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We missed her.
She spent too many weeks shagging in a van.
Yeah, well, you know, when you're in a van with company.
She was very dehydrated when I saw her. I had to get her Lucozade Spar from the shop. But it's a good poem, though.
Great poem. I think she's been reading. Have you ever read The Untethered Soul?
I have not.
By
who?
Michael Singer.
Michael Singer.
Yeah, I think the talking about the thoughts on you are not you, and you're watching your own thoughts. I think the agony aunt took it from that.
She's probably reading it
as we speak.
Between riding. Yeah, she's having a great time.
You shared a post a couple of days ago from a young musician called Ben Reed.
Ben Reed.
And what a talented fella he is. And weirdly enough, he was. I saw a photo of him yesterday, a selfie with Aaron Rowe.
Yeah.
Who we're big fans of. So we're going to wrap up the show with the music of Ben Reed, and this is The Risen People, a poem about the the war heroes of the 1916 Rising.
Yeah, so Ben Reid's only like 18. He trains in my gym, and he's 18. I think he started playing guitar only a couple of years ago, and now he's writing songs. There's a video of him on TikTok on his Instagram, and he's playing "Hey Ma" by Aaron Rowe. Back when he was in secondary school, which was only last year. Well, it was actually earlier this year.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rowe shared it. I was like, this is brilliant. And since then, he has played Vicar Street.
Has he?
He played Vicar Street alongside George Murphy Music and the Rising Suns. He played look,
That's
there they
nice.
are, in Vicar Street.
18.
He's going to be fucking huge.
Yeah.
He's going to be huge.
Let's listen to him. This is the voice of Ben Reid. Leon, thanks for your time.
Always a pleasure. Never a chore. Bye.
See you later.
Well, how do you feel now? And do you still feel sad? I heard you lost all your battles after giving all that you had. Well, how do you feel now? And do you still feel sad? Well, you let down your mother, disappointed your dad. These uphill battles is what it takes. Stick true and you can have the best of laugh and win the final round. Passionate, fearless, the best pound for pound. It's not about what you say, it's how you sound. Beware of the risen people who take what you would not give. Yes, those of you who bullied and bribed. Take it all in your stride. The leaders at 16, they stood tall with pride. Whoa, and how do you feel now? And do you still feel sad? Well, they lay on their backs, smiles on their face with holes in their chest, staring up at the blue sky, Troy flags on shoulder, knowing that they have done their best. If only we had seen the battle from the canal to Stephen's Green. Whoa.